So friends, one of Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorneys, this guy, Emil Bove, just had his confirmation hearing because Donald Trump is trying to make him a federal court of appeals judge. And you know, friends, in case there was any lingering doubt about just how wrong, just how ill-suited this guy is to be a federal judge, well, Bove cleared that up for us. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, Donald Trump continues to reward his former defense attorneys by making them high DOJ officials, United States attorneys, and in the case of Emil Bove, a federal circuit court of appeals judge with life tenure, a lifetime appointment to the federal bench. Well, yesterday's Senate Judiciary Committee hearing made clear that Bove has no business being a judge, federal or otherwise. Let's start with the new reporting. This from NPR. Headline, Trump's appeals judge nominee says he's no one's henchman. And that article begins, the White House describes Emil Bove as an ideal nominee for a position on the federal courts, and that's exactly what his critics fear. Bove spent years as a federal prosecutor registering convictions and generating complaints about his work. Now, friends, let me jump forward several paragraphs in this NPR article where it talks about some of those complaints against Bove when he was a prosecutor. Bove's work in the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, SDNY, prompted a number of complaints and critics. The office abandoned a conviction it won in a sanctions case after a judge found severe prosecutorial misconduct, including failures by Bove and others to properly supervise the trial team, which did not turn over material that would have been helpful to the defendant, as they are required to do under the Constitution. Bove spent years as a federal prosecutor, registering convictions and generating complaints about his work before he left to defend Donald Trump through 4 criminal indictments. More recently, he's had a hand in some of the administration's most aggressive moves at the Justice Department. As its top official responsible for daily operations, he, Bove, was involved in sacking prosecutors and FBI agents who investigated Trump and the January 6th Capitol riot. In a recent move, he walked away from the corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. And friends, remember, Bove wasn't trying to dismiss Eric Adams' case because he couldn't prove that Adams committed all kinds of public corruption crimes. No, he wanted to dismiss his case so Adams could be in a position to help his boss, Bove's boss, Donald Trump, with his political priorities. Friends, that is unethical conduct 101. You don't leverage criminal cases so the defendant can do favors for your boss. My editorial edition. The article continues. Now, Bove is President Trump's nominee to be a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, a region that covers Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and the Virgin Islands. His nomination hearing on Wednesday before the Senate Judiciary Committee included no critical words from Senate Republicans, suggesting he could have a smooth path to confirmation in the GOP-led Congress. Friends, what are some other people who are in the know saying about Bove's nomination? Greg Nunziata once served as chief nominations counsel for senior Republican lawmakers. He considers Bove's background as a staunch defender of Trump very ill-suited for a lifetime federal judgeship. But friends, believe it or not, it gets even worse. A career federal prosecutor at the Department of Justice named Erez Ruvini, who spoke the truth in court about the Abrego Garcia case and got fired for it, well, he wrote a 27-page letter blowing the whistle on Emil Bove. There's the letter, sent to Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General for the Department of Justice, Jamison Greer, Acting Special Counsel at the U.S. Office of Special Counsel, Chuck Grassley, Chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Dick Durbin, Ranking Member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and others. And here is the subject: protected whistleblower disclosure of Erez Ruvini regarding violation of laws, rules, and regulations, abuse of authority, and substantial and specific danger to health and safety at the Department of Justice. Dear all, we, the Government Accountability Project and Gilbert Employment Law PC, represent Mr. Erez Ruvini, formerly the Acting Deputy Director for the Office of Immigration Litigation of the Department of Justice, and a whistleblower. Mr. Ruvini presents the following disclosures to your attention for your respective offices to take appropriate oversight action. And friends, let's cut right to the chase. Here is some of what Mr. Ruvini disclosed. At a meeting, Bove indicated to those in attendance that the AEA, the Alien Enemies Act proclamation, would soon be signed, and that one or more planes containing individuals subject to the AEA would be taking off over the weekend, meaning Saturday, March 15 and Sunday, March 16. Bove did not provide further details. Bove indicated and stressed to all in attendance that the planes needed to take off no matter what. Bove then made a remark concerning the possibility that a court order would enjoin, meaning prohibit, those removals before they could be effectuated. Bove stated that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts, "Fuck you," and ignore any such court order. Mr. Ruvini perceived that others in the room looked stunned, and he observed awkward, nervous glances among people in the room. Silence overtook the room. Mr. Ruvini and others were quickly ushered out of the room. Notwithstanding Bove's directive, Mr. Ruvini left the meeting understanding that DOJ would tell DHS to follow all court orders. Mr. Ruvini was stunned by Bove's statement because, to Mr. Ruvini's knowledge, no one in DOJ leadership in any administration had ever suggested the Department of Justice could blatantly ignore court orders, especially with a "fuck you." But friends, not to worry, because Emil Bove cleared all that up at his Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. This as reported by Anna Bauer, a senior editor at Lawfare. Schiff, Senator Adam Schiff, is up, and he directly asks about the "fuck you" comment. This from Senator Schiff. "Did you say anything of that kind?" Bove, Senator, I have no recollection of saying that. Schiff tries again. "Did you suggest telling the courts, 'fuck you' in any manner?" Bove, I do not recall. I do not recall telling a room full of DOJ lawyers that we're going to need to tell federal court judges, "Fuck you. We're not complying with your court orders." Friends, does anybody believe that Emil Bove did not recall? Me neither. Emil Bove is the exact opposite of what we the people want in a federal court judge, what we the people deserve in our federal court judges. And his nomination should be, must be, rejected. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.